What's up, everybody? It's your boy natedizzy coming at you with another quick Fortnite video. Now today I want to talk a little bit about some editing tips, basically things that might help you. I know they help me. These are the most helpful tips that I was able to find in my the amount of time that I've been playing, as well as just searching through videos. And I'm definitely not trying to take credit for all of these tips because I did not come up with all this by myself. I haven't been playing for an incredibly long time, but I found these tips helpful, so I felt like I'd go through them again and talk about which ones were the most helpful to me. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The first tip, real quick, is that when you go to edit a ramp to change the direction of the ramp, so normally like for me when I started, I would click and drag all the way across and then confirm the edit. Now you don't actually have to do this. What you can do is click in the same spot to begin and go just right to that closest square there. Now if you can't tell, the difference is massive. Just go right there. So you can basically do edits a lot quicker if you do this, because you're moving about 70-80% less distance when you go to place it on the map. So that's the first tip. Now the next tip, while I'm up here, is going to be in regard to edit peeking an enemy with a ramp there with your wall. So a lot of the time, say you're in tilted. This happens a lot in tilted. You have an enemy in front of you, you ramp, and then they run this way along the side, and you wall them off initially. The best thing you can do really here, you could of course you could jump over, but that's what they're going to be expecting. As they come around, they're going to be already aimed up like this. So the best thing you can do is edit peek, and instead of being way up here, you'll be down here. They'll have to adjust. But you'll find that once you take the shot, you may not kill them, and then it's pretty hard to hit this edit to edit the wall back, but you can in fact do it. I at one point in time thought you couldn't, but I figured it out. So all you need to do is aim a little bit over where the edge of the wall is. You can see here that I am on the wall instead of the stairs. If you aim too low, or if you aim directly at the wall, it won't in fact allow you to edit it. But if you just aim that little bit over, it'll allow you to. And you can also jump. And this it's not necessarily much more helpful, but sometimes it might be appropriate. So do your peek, get used to, finding that spot, throw it up. You're going to surprise them, so you're going to have a little time. So that's going to lead us right into the next tip. This isn't really a physical tip. This is just stay calm with your edits. The whole point of editing is to surprise the opponent by, bringing out an edit that they're not necessarily expecting. So like say you ramp up, you got somebody in front of you, you could peek here, or you could peek from the side, or if they're real close, you can just do an edit like this. Boom. That's very useful in a situation in tight quarters, like in a building, especially in situations. I'll show you real quick. So say I'm here, and here's the door. Here, I can't actually wall. And you're used to walling off. If somebody is there, wall, bam. But you can't wall with the door there. So what you can do, jump, boom, stairs. You got a ramp in between you and them. You can jump around, treat it just like as if you had a wall there. And when you're ready to attack, you can either do this, or my favorite is to do this type. Because you'll just like I said before in the beginning, instead of having to go all the way across like this, and I find aiming forward like this and doing this is kind of awkward, you can just boom and then put it back. Now the next thing I want to talk about is going to be knowing your edits. This is the next tip. Knowing your edits with the different things. So obviously stairs, roofs are very simple. Floors are very simple. And as walls are the main thing you're going to be worrying about learning how to edit. Excuse me. They're going to be the most useful thing to edit when doing peaks. And you want to know all the different types of edits so that you can switch it up and not do the same edits every time. That way, if you have multiple edits in a single fight, you know, say you peek somebody with a diagonal edit one time, then the next time you hit them with the over the top, you know, single bar edit or even the double bar, and you're switching it up, or a window, and so on. So you want to learn all your edits. So I'll just run through them real quick for you. So you have your diagonals, and you can use diagonals on all four corners. So they have a lot of, this is probably my most commonly used edit. You have your windows, obviously. You have your side arches. You have a middle arch. Middle arch is probably the least useful of all the edits. The side arch you can use sometimes, and it can even be better in certain scenarios than using a diagonal, but I just tend to use the diagonal because you can do it in one motion. You just grab here, boom, it's done. Whereas with the arch, you have to do like a circular motion, which is a little bit harder to do. You also have the Tfue edit, which is like this, and you have the it's kind of like a sidewall edit, like this. You know, not the most common edits, but definitely good. And my favorite for peeking of all of these edits are, it's between obviously the diagonal edit, as I said, and the over the top edit, boom. And then of course, I mean, you have your windows, but I think windows can be, you really have to learn how to peek the window to expose the least of yourself while still being able to hit the shot without shooting around the window. So you might hit it at a weird angle and shoot the window on accident, even though you think you're around it. But yeah, that's about it for the wall edits. Then I'll talk about a couple things about ceilings, alright? And also floors. So, if, say you get in a situation where you have a roof like this, you can actually edit roofs. A lot of console players will know this already because some of them use ceilings or roofs for ramps so that they can do different types of things. I don't advise this even if you're a console player, but know that if you ever place a roof and you need to go up, you can edit it in any direction that you need to. Roofs are also really good for getting the drop on an opponent. Say you do your 1x1 like this. Instead of doing a ramp to peek it like this. It'll put you in weirder positions, and you'll be able to peek in kind of an unexpected way. Also, they're easier to edit. You only have to edit the one square in order to change the directional of the ramp, and you can always get under it by just changing the edit like this, and then you have, you know, a good amount of protection on you. So that's about it as far as roofs go. Now there's one more thing I want to note, and this is with regards to floors. So a lot of people know, and it's in my building drills video, it's just a little snippet, it's not actually one of the drills, but you should be able to do this. Okay, now once you can do that, you want to keep in mind when you should be doing which one. Okay, now if floors is just easy and you don't have your ceilings, you know, in a good place, that's okay. But if ceilings are the only ways you can do this, you need to consider making your floors able to do it too, because this is one advantage floors have over the ceilings. If you do this maneuver, and obviously this is to protect you from overhead fire, like if someone has the angle on you, you can do this to build up toward them, and they have to shoot through this before shooting you. So the advantage though is that when you come up through one of these, they don't break. See, obviously when you do it with a roof, editing it like that breaks it. But when you do these, you can start a double ramp. Kind of messed that up there. Let's try it again. And you can ramp out of it. Obviously, I'm failing my 180 turn, but you get the point. And You can knock it all back down if you haven't 180 turned with a simple, you know, edit of this piece. But yeah, so keep that in mind that using the floors instead of the roofs can be the move sometimes, so that you can double ramp, especially in situations where you're, you know, trying to get basically if you have somebody overhead in front of you and overhead behind you, the roofs are the better choice and allow you to do that. That's about it. I think, yeah, I'll give you one more tip. All right, so you come here to Epic and you go to the cogwheel, you go to settings. If you come here, you can click, this is normally unchecked like this, but you can click here, ignore this one. You can do hyphen LAN play. If you do hyphen LAN play, some people claim that it helps with editing speed, and I tend to agree. What this does, particularly if you have good internet, you can do this. This allows you to edit faster by opening the bandwidth between you and the server, so your computer sends more updates to the server. So if you've ever been stuck in a game and had it like with an edit in a game and basically it takes forever to pop up, you notice that when I was doing my edits that didn't happen once, and some people attribute it to this. I tend to agree. So this is the last tip that I wanted to give you. That's about all. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Like and share if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Hey Dizzy out.